If you struggle, like most players do, with those fat and those thin shots where you blade it or you hit behind the ball, I know exactly what's going on here with your swing. I used to struggle with it myself. I'm not one of these coaches who was some great player his whole life. I had to learn all this same stuff that I teach you when I was in my 20s. That's why I know what really works to solve this. So it is, I call it the hang back flip move, right? This is where you hang back here and you flip at it with the hands as opposed to hitting down on the ball and getting that what people call compression. This is a great little visual for it here. And this is just a screw through a golf ball here, right? So if I was gonna hit up on it, you can see this is what I would do. But what I really wanna do here is I wanna drive that nail or that screw down into the ground in front of the golf ball. That exposes the face of the club to the golf ball, right? The hang back flip move doesn't drive the nail down, and it exposes the leading edge of the sole of the club to the golf ball instead of the face of the club to the golf ball. So obviously that means leading with the hands, the handle a little bit more there. And I'm gonna show you a great way to work on this and feel this. So if you like this video, be sure to hit like, be sure to subscribe, enable alerts, all of that stuff. This is a continuing conversation that you want to be part of. I love hearing your comments and your feedback, so leave one down below. And if you want to get started with some free lessons, learning my full system, go to facefirstgolf.com. So now, here's a great way for you to kind of set this, your own little visual up right here. Just take this tee, and instead of putting it in the ground like you would to tee up a ball, put it in the ground at a little bit of an angle like this here. And now that's the same thing that I just showed you with the screw through the ball. And now we're trying to get that feeling like we are exposing the face to the ball, hitting down. That is going to make the ball first contact and then the divot occur over on the target side. And that's compression, right? That is when that club face is exposed to the golf ball and you're hitting down with the hands leading a little bit. That's what really makes the ball get caught on the face of the club. That's what imparts all the spin. That's what we want with these iron shots. As you hit down on it, it creates backspin, creates loft, and of course a shot that stops when it lands. If you hang back here, you're not exposing the face of the club to the ball. You're getting no compression. The ball kind of just slides up the club face instead of getting trapped on the face of the club. It slides up the club face, and you get those shots that sometimes they almost look like they have topspin when they land. They do the opposite of stopping like we want, right? So here's a great way to start to feel this. Just start with these swings with just this trail arm right here, okay? And all you're trying to do here is feel the handle lead a little bit, right? Instead of working back towards you like this, feel the handle just lead a little bit. And this trail elbow is gonna hit this trail hip, kind of ride that trail hip, and the handle kind of leads through impact. Now, a little bit past impact, it's going to start to work back towards you as you release the club. But that's the first way to start feeling this, is just these swings with just the trail arm, this feeling of hitting down. You can see I'm starting to get a little bit of turf. And now what you're working on here is low point control. You're just working with this hand, working on what does it feel like to drive that tee down in, and it drove right down into the ground. Don't know if I'll get that one back now, but that's the feeling is, what does it feel like to drive that tee down into the ground there? That starts to give you the feeling of a little bit of that leading with the handle through impact and not letting it work back too early in the backswing. Another real interesting thing about this is it also helps if you're one of those players like so many, if you're making that hang back flip move, you're probably early extending and coming up out of your posture as well. And when you start to make these little trail hand, if you start coming up out of your posture, you're gonna miss the ground. So you'll pretty quickly start to learn what it feels like to stay down in this posture through impact as well. Now, the next piece to this is to start with your feet together, Okay, ball right in the center of your stance, go up on this trail toe. Now we're just gonna have all that weight on that lead foot because we have to, right? Now try making that hang back flip move from here, right? You're not gonna be able to do it. You're gonna fall out of your stance there. So feet together, ball right in the center. We're up on this trail toe. Now it's just that same little feeling right here, and you can just start to hit some little shots and just start to feel, and you can see right there, my tee is right here, and there's that little bit of turf contact over on the target side. So that's the first step to this. You just start to feel that with those little swings, make some of those. This is one of those things too that you can work on at home a lot, and you can just work on hitting balls into the net, even hitting just foam balls up against a wall or something like that with just feet together up on this. Start to get that feeling. Do a little bit of this right arm first. Start to get this feeling. Put both hands on there. Try to feel the same thing, and then start hitting some balls, just working on that. Now, the next piece to this is when we get a little bit longer with the swing, starts to take a little bit more of just a kind of a normal type of stance where we put our feet together here again. And now it's going to be one small step here, one small step here, equal steps on each side to position the ball in the center of the stance. Now I just want you to extend this trail leg a little bit, just kind of straighten it a little bit, and you'll feel that really push all that weight up onto this front foot. Now it's just the same thing that we just did right there with the feet together, except now we're just going to, and now you start to get a ball that goes quite a bit further. It's still, again, you know, my tee is still in the same spot, has not moved, but I'm getting that turf contact, just a little bit of that turf contact over on the target side. That starts to give you the feeling of how to hit down on these. So now when you start working on this, one of the problems that you're probably going to have, almost everybody does, is that once you start getting this feeling of hitting down on the ball and leading with the hands, what tends to happen is the club comes down too steeply into the ball, almost a little over the top, right? Steeply kind of swinging down a little bit too steeply, where we really want that club approaching from a little bit more from the inside. We're especially going to want that when we start incorporating this into our regular full swing, right? So that's why this pencil gate drill is a great one to help with this. And we just put a pencil at an angle back behind it right here, pencil at an angle just a little bit in front right here. And this forms that little gate, and it's a really great visual for swinging that path. So if I get here and I go and I extend this leg and I get my weight over on this front foot here, now if I come down steep into it, I'm going to hit this pencil, right? So this is going to help me while I'm making that compression move, that swinging from the inside, that handle leading and ball first, then turf contact kind of swing. Now this is going to help me avoid this little over the top move or that steep move into impact that's so common. And it's just going to help you start to swing that path a little bit from the inside as you are doing this little drill. So this is just feet together. Extend this right or that trail leg a little bit. And now we're just going to make that same motion, but swing through the gate. And now you can see, now I start to get a little ball that starts to turn left a little bit, right? Because now my path is coming a little bit more from the inside. Again, tee has not moved here. Tee is in the same spot. There's no contact back here behind the golf ball. All of that contact is occurring with the ground in front of the golf ball, which is what we want, of course. So that is, and then, you know, the next piece to this is when you want to start incorporating it into a little bit fuller swing, now I just want you to feel like your weight stays on that lead side through the swing. And this is an 8-iron that I have right here. I mean, you could almost, when you get to these short irons, you do want more of that weight on that front foot. Even when, you know, you're playing golf, making full swings, you want that weight to stay more on that lead foot. as you get to these shorter, more lofted irons. So this is just now feet together, equal steps. Now I'm not gonna extend the leg here, but I am gonna feel a lot of my weight over on that lead foot, and it's gonna stay there, and I'm just going to swing through the gate here, and I'm gonna lead with that handle a little bit, and now I'm going to start to make a little bit more of a full type swing. Ooh, that one jumped off the club face and felt good. So when you get that compression, it is gonna do that. It's just gonna kind of really jump off the club face, just like that one did with what felt like not much of a swing. And again, you know, there is no contact back behind the golf ball here. You can see that, right? All the turf contact is occurring over here on that target side. So this is something that you should and you can and you should work on into your net at home. The more repetition of this that you can do, the compression thing doesn't happen overnight, but if you reinforce this constantly over and over, you will start to really get the feeling of it. So if you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe, enable those alerts. This is a continuing conversation. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I love hearing from you, and I try to reply to everybody. And if you want to get started with some free lessons, go to facefirstgolf.com, and I appreciate you being here. I hope that helps you understand this most common kind of hang back flip move and what to do about it.